I want to do this project because homosexuality in the African American community has always been a controversial issue, but the male population has taken the brunt of the abuse.
I got something for all these homosexuals just walking around here with your pocketbooks, with your tight pants and your bow tie, and you're walking like a girl. You need deliverance.
Even though I represent a vast portion of our community, I am guilty of playing a role of the visualization of what a black gay man is. There has yet been an opportunity for black gay men to be shown in their full greatness. We are more than just image makers, BFFs, and characters for comic relief. So take a journey with me, but make sure you keep an open mind, because you're gonna listen to some stories from some men that don't fit the stereotype of being gay like me.
I guess the experiences are different for everyone. So how old were you guys when you first noticed there may be a difference in your attractions?
I can remember.
Are you ready to answer that?
Yeah,
You're ready.
I remember like age 4 or 5. I remember being like in kindergarten and being attracted to one particular person in general, and in nap time wanting to sleep next to that person. And so
It was fast at a young age.
Well, this is a whole nother
You know what? I can't pinpoint it to a specific age, but I knew that something was different in my, when I was in my late or early teens. I knew that something was different. Whereas the other guys were, gravitating toward females, that wasn't really something that I was really totally interested in. Not that I really was interested in guys at the time, but I just wasn't as gung-ho for women as they were. So I knew something was different about me. I just didn't know what it was.
I really started to kind of have those feelings at like 14, 15, just like looking at, guys completely different. And it was just a weird feeling. So I just was like, didn't want to accept that. Thought it was just, maybe it could be puberty. I don't know what it was. But around 14, 15 is when I really started to kind of get that feeling.
I got older and began to develop feelings for individuals. I noticed that I had a fair attraction for men as opposed to ladies. And it was interesting because I was thinking that this can't be right because this is not what society says I should be doing. So at that young age, I suppressed that feeling and tried to do what was right. And I would have these little girlfriends. When we were younger, we thought we were in love with these girls, little girls. But so I would suppress the feeling and try to do what the other guys were doing, just to try not to get picked on or what have you. But it was really difficult. And as a young age, like I said in the documentary, kids can be really brutal. And so you get ridiculed for being one way or this way. So it's hard. So I can sympathize with the young generation nowadays who really want to keep their feelings suppressed because of the ridicule that you're going to get from the community. So.
Yeah, I would probably share the same sentiments as him. When I was no. Right, a little earlier than that. No, yeah, it was about when I was 14, 15, that puberty age, because I had feelings for females, but then I also realized that some of these are the same feelings I'm having for guys. Like I'm looking at girls like ooh, and I'm looking at guys like ooh too, which was a little confusing for me, and it was also, I guess, the part of not understanding. More so, this is just how I feel. I don't really understand what it's called. I don't understand. This may just be what puberty is. This may be, the feelings that everybody has. They just choose what route to go. I didn't know at that point, but I knew around that age is when I started looking at both genders.
Very interesting. How about you?
Yeah, I was fast like Ryan. I'm very young. I was 6 easily. I mean, maybe even before then. But again, not to call it gay.
Yeah, we saw that baby picture of you with your crop top on, so yeah.
Yeah, I just always known. I've always known I was special. And then I think you mentioned like this idea of being attracted to both. So there's socialization. Like I was also attracted to women. I had girlfriends all through high school. And so there was both that I was able to, see what it was like to experience on both sides. And so But yeah, I've always just from a very early age.
Awesome. And I can't wait to watch the show because you guys are expressing and talking about things that a lot of people don't know, and you're doing it with laughter and enjoying it. And a lot of people will actually get where you guys are coming from.
And oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say with what Ryan said also about how a lot of things like looking back at pictures and things like that, and being picked on when you were little, and those things don't equate to you necessarily being gay. But I've looked back at pictures of me and I've seen that I was always under my mom. And people used to always say, like, you're such a mama's boy. You were mama's boy. Like, and even my brother and family members said when I did come out to them, like, oh, we knew that you were always up under your mother. Or we knew, you know what I mean? Like, ever since you were a kid, you were always. And so I think that speaks to something because people do associate those things. The crop top when he was a kid, or the high voice when he was a kid, you know what I mean? Or always around your mom, to being gay.
Oh, that's very interesting. And now you said you've dated women before, and you as well. You have a child.
My daughter's grown.
Interesting. Now, for you guys who have any of you ever dated a woman?
Hell no. No, I have not. Not one bit, no.
Well, well, that part is a part that a lot of the general public does not understand. How can you go from one thing, have a child, and
Well,
then
you
go
got to
to
ask
something
them.
else?
Well, I don't know nothing about that.
I know, right? So, how was that transition?
Well, you know what? Interestingly, to be totally transparent, I was going to get married. Yeah.
Now, how did that work out?
I was going to get married
Okay.
because I wanted to do what I felt society wanted me to do. But in hindsight, I would have been frustrated. She would have been frustrated. It just would have been a messed up situation. So I called the wedding off. The wedding had been planned and all this type of stuff. So I called the wedding off. It was the best thing I've ever done.
I can believe it.
But even though I decided to make that decision, it still was a struggle, just defining my own identity. I was afraid to tell my parents, afraid to tell my brothers. But my mom actually called me one day and said, you hadn't dated a woman in a while. Is there something going on? And so by my not answering her immediately, she said, I have my answer. And so, but what made it easier for me to accept was the fact that she said that I'm going to love you regardless. And then my brothers came on board, even though it was difficult for them initially, because they were saying, oh, I wanted you to have kids and all our kids play together. But eventually they began to accept me for who I am. And so right now they're my biggest support network.
Is there really, I know your personal preference, but is there really a difference between the genders as far as dating is concerned?
I don't see there's a big difference. I think dating is dating.
Yes.
Whether you're dating a female or whether you're dating a male, I think each individual wants to be loved. Each individual wants that attention, that one-on-one attention. So I don't see a big difference. The one thing I do realize is that when I was dating females, my heart wasn't truly in it.
And there's probably a man right now dating a woman, but wholeheartedly, maybe not wholeheartedly,
Right.
but in his mind and in his heart, he may know.
Right.
What advice would you just tell him to break it off, or just how would somebody navigate that?
Right now I'm telling people just live your truth. Because once you decide to be who you are, then you're going to sleep better at night. You're not going to have those thoughts of what if. Just live your truth. I would have been so unhappy. Not that she wasn't a great person, but I would have been so unhappy. Just imagine if I married her and then these feelings weren't going to magically go away.
You're right.
I mean, so what if I want to step outside of the relationship and experience a situation with a guy?
You would
so
be
it
wrong.
I would have been wrong.
You would be
So
wrong.
in order to avoid that situation, I decided to just cut ties.
I think that's very smart and brave of you. Very smart, because I don't want to say it's in self-imposed prison, because it's very difficult to tell yourself these things, but there are a lot of people living in these facades, and I can imagine that it will be miserable.
Right. It is. And, I know of several people who are doing just that. And it's difficult. And I have sympathy on them, but it's a choice that you make.
This is true.
So, I mean, Are you afraid of being ridiculed by the community, or by your parents, by your friends? I mean, that's out there. That's something you have to deal with. And at this point in my life, if people don't like me for me being me, then hey, there's going to be somebody else to take your place.
You're right
So
about
I mean,
that.
I try not to worry about that anymore. And that used to bother me so much. And so where I would just be so cognizant about the way I walked, the way I talked, the way I dressed, so I wouldn't send up any red flags about my sexuality. But now it's not like I'm out there wearing a dress or waving a flag. I'm just being Rondrick. I'm being Dr. Ron. I'm who I am. And I wake up every morning and I'm happy with who I am. And when people get to that point, when you're happy with who you are, you don't give a damn what other people think about you.
And you've been around for quite some time. Awesome.
Yeah, but not with a woman now.
No. No. But I was going to talk about your awesome work ethic and professionalism. Do you think being gay impedes your progress in your profession? Or because looking at you guys are some sharp brothers, and you're doing business and you're handling your business. You have so many endeavors going on.
For when I chose the men for this, I wanted them not to be in the industry, because the thing is that most of us fall under the category of being a hairstylist, a makeup artist, a choreographer, a waiter, a flight attendant, things of that nature. So I wanted to make sure that they all were corporate type 9-to-5 men, because I wanted to kind of break that stereotype of it. So do I think that me being gay and as a hairstylist, as in further my career?
Well, just in your business
in my business in general, in general. No, because I think if I was straight, I'd probably be as successful as I was now too. I don't think that had any kind of thing, anything to do with that. I just create good relationships. I work hard and I do good work. So I think that's all that is before being gay. So I don't think that had a.
And your selection of these professional guys, do you think it affects them because of their professions?
That's a question to ask them.
I would say for me, no, not at all, because what I do is surrounded around helping people in general. My sexual preference has nothing to do with the way I run business or handle
Absolutely.
business. When I'm at work, I'm the same person. My mom likes to say I'm the same person I've always been. So, my masculinity doesn't switch up or change. I'm just who I am. And so when I go into my place of employment or whenever I'm dealing business, I always like to just push me as a professional. My sexual preference, that has nothing to do with it. I'm not ashamed of it. I always say it's one of those scenarios. If you ask me, I'll tell you, but I don't walk around with a flag on saying, hey, I'm gay. It's just, for me, it's no different from a heterosexual. No one walks around saying, hey, I'm straight. It's just, that's just your personal business. But if someone asks me a question about it, I definitely don't shy away at all.
Totally understood. You seem to... Yeah, get in there, brother. Mr. Fast.
I think for me in my previous world in finance, I found it to be actually helpful. When I worked at TD Bank as a vice president, the CFO of TD Bank actually asked me to be on the diversity leadership board for LGBT.
So you got promotions because...
Well, I got to be involved in a senior network group and got to be involved with the company and help shape their culture and their policy around issues dealing with LGBT. So in that instance, I did. Same thing, I left there, and with the Freddie Mac, the same thing happened. I got asked to be on that LGBT Diversity Leadership Board. I was the only African-American person on that board, and I was the youngest person on that board. So
That's awesome.
However, in the sports world, where I was trying to coach basketball, I was a pretty good basketball player growing up, one of the top 100 players in the nation, according to some recruiting websites. And when I was trying to get back into coaching basketball, I found it a little more difficult. I had originally had several people approach me about coaching, and I was honest about my sexuality, and they found a reason to say no, or to say they had enough coaches once I told them. After coming to me, asking me to coach.
Yeah,
And so that was more difficult. So it just depends upon the industry. But I say, for myself personally, I want to be able to bring my whole self to any environment that I'm in. If I can't bring my whole self, to that environment, then that's not the environment I need to be in. There's other places where I can help people out.
All right, so coming out, can you explain for those who do not know exactly what it takes spiritually, emotionally, and professionally?
It takes a person getting into a space where you are going to be numb to whatever ridicule that may come. I think what made it easier for me is that I had my family there. A lot of people don't have that, but if you have a good support network, then it's going to make it so much easier. Professionally, I don't think your skills as a professional are going to decrease because you live a certain way.
That is true.
Just because I go and eat some collard greens on Monday and eat some
tofu
on Wednesday, I'm no better, not much better. My skills aren't going to change.
You're right.
So me as a person, I'm not going to change. So what I tell people and what I hope the documentary is going to get across is that just be yourself. And actually, if you be yourself, society is going to follow along. I mean, I've gained so much support since I've decided to take this road. It's easy. It's easy now. Well, easier. I won't say easy. It's easier now. But I still get people who are surprised, like Bree. Hell, she was surprised. She was like, "Don't I know?" A lot of people don't know. When they see this, they're not going to know. They're going to be surprised. But
I totally get it. And what do you guys? Maybe you can answer this, Derek, as well. What do you do in the face of clear and blatant opposition for the mere fact of your sexual preference?
I mean, it's really, the only thing you can do is kind of speak up on it.
Yes. I think the show is going to help a lot in that regard.
You can speak up on it. I think for me, I get more of it because of the way I dress. Then that's where I get my pushback at. It's like, we love you so much, but yeah, that doesn't work for this. Even though, like, I had a show on Oxygen, and we did 2 seasons, and when the show got canceled, I was like, well, I have a show idea that we can do for it. And they were like, well, yeah, though, that worked for this show. That don't really work for that show. So we don't, thanks, but no thanks. Or I've missed out on a corporate, it's hard for me to get corporate backing, or any kind of corporate sponsorship, because they're like, oh, well, we love your personality, but, I'm like, this is clothes. I mean, I do have flat shoes. I do have a suit. I can do that too. You know that, right? But the thing is, so that it gets, and I know we probably, all of us went through it. It gets to a time it's like, well, do I want to stand strong and fight for the people, or do you just compromise and do what you need to do so you can move on to the next thing? So those are the kind of things that you struggle with when it comes up when you're working in corporate or you're trying to grow in a field, any field. It's kind of like, what do you do? Like, do I stop wearing heels and stop wearing women's clothes to put on some suits? But do I really want to do that? Like, no. But will that help you go further in the industry? Now then, what black people need. Now you're a sellout, and now you ain't true to yourself. But then that's what you know what? At the end of the day, you never make nobody happy.
Yes.
Because, when they say they want you in suits, I put on a suit, they say, oh, you look like a man in a suit. Why you got a suit? And I was like, well, that's what you told me to put on. Now you don't want me to put on that. Then I put on this, and they say, well, don't you do that? So you never make anybody happy. So the best advice you can do is just live your life to whatever make you happy and figure it out as you keep going, as it goes.
If you picture what a gay lifestyle is based on what you see on television, you'll totally get confused. You totally have the wrong idea. So by myself and my cast members sharing our stories, let someone see that, okay, he's like me. Well, I've been through the same situation he's going through, so I didn't even know he existed. So it's just to help someone. So there's young guys out there who are probably threatening suicide or thinking about suicide
we touched on that,
or running away from home and all kind of things, bad things, and thinking their life is over. Like, there was something in the news where a father couldn't stomach the fact that his son was gay, and he shot the guy or something like that. But people need to see that we are out here and we're in the same situation that they're in, and we're still successful. We're still doing our things, and we're not wearing high heels, and we're not wearing eyelashes and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, but
everybody is not doing that.
Absolutely. And it looks like you guys have a great thing going here, and I see some great things in the future for the show. What direction or what are your plans for the future of the show?
Well, my thing is to get it to the masses, because I want people to be able to see, be able to. For me, I knew that when you look in the look for resources for white gay men, is stuff for days. It's tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. Then if you do something about a black gay man, it's nothing. And then when it is something there's over sexualized, they feel like all we just have sex all day and go to the club and do drugs. So it's nothing there that's positive in any kind of positive way to say, hey, this is what we are. We are productive people in the community. We have jobs. We do things. So that's what I want it to be. So, like I said, once I get my real final edit, it will be up on the website for at least for this part of it. But it was supposed to be a one-off. It was supposed to be Gay Like Me, and it's supposed to be these men. But now it's turned into a docu-series now, where Gay Like Me is the main title. And then we have subtitles on it. So the next one we're working on is Gay Like Me, My Child Is Gay, where we talk to parents. To parents about their experience of dealing with a child that came out, how they cope, because once again, that's not a resource for other parents to have anybody. They don't talk to nobody. They don't want nobody to know that their child is gay, so they don't talk about it to nobody at all. So we want to be able to I want to be able to just kind of open up these resources for people and help them kind of work through whatever emotions and feelings they have about having a gay individual in their family.
Awesome.
What I like about the docu-series is the fact that we all have different stories, and some of us have stories that are more harsh than others. But I think that it brings diversity in looking at how to handle situations as it relates to your child, for example, being gay or showing signs of being gay, and it gives a sense of hope. For example, my story wasn't that I had a family that was, didn't accept it. But on the flip side, on the corporate side, that's where I struggled, with being true to who I am. I was playing a character, at work, but then when I was at home around my family, I was the happiest because I was being who I really am. So we all have different, versions of our struggles and, what worked for us, what didn't work for us. But I think that the common denominator that it's just going to give, like I said, a sense of hope for parents and just for other people that are struggling, because when you look at TV, and I love my brother, sometimes sister, Derek, a lot of kids, they play off of what they see on TV, and then they feel like they're gay. Well, maybe I need to start wearing heels. Well, maybe that may not necessarily be your thing, but that's because that's what you see. But seeing masculinity and just different types of gayism, if you will, really, really kind of helps people really figure out, what they're about, where they're going, and that's what I love the most about it.
The spectrum, this lifestyle is you go from here to here.
See, that's the education part. That's the education part.
There's nothing wrong with, if I'm here, there's nothing wrong with the guy that's here. That's just what they choose to do. But people need to see that
it's more than
it's this too, and then all this in between, and that's what we're not getting on television. So
and I look for you guys to have much success, because there's a platform to express these things, and those things that are hidden away a lot of times are considered taboo.
Yeah,
and the more it's discussed, the more accepted it will be, and the more understanding it'll come from the public.
Yeah, and then I'm hoping that some of the parents will be sympathetic to
yes.
it.
Yes.
A lot of times, if your family is not there to support you, you feel like you don't have anywhere to go or what have you. But a lot of the guys, our parents were, our biggest support network. So a lot of kids don't have that.
See, the problem is in the black community is that we have a skewed version of what masculinity is. And the thing is that if you don't go to jail or shoot somebody or stab someone, you are not masculine, you are gay. So it's like there's no in between. It's like, did you go to jail? Okay, you gay. So you iron your clothes? Oh, you gay. Oh, you get a manicure? You gay. Like, so everything is just everything. There's just no So the thing is that we have to kind of iron out the to let the wrinkles in it to say, oh wow, it's a long list of things that in between being gay and being masculine. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then who says that being gay doesn't mean you can't be masculine? Like, you know, so it's just so many things that go along with this. So what we need to flood we just need to flood our senses with just other things to show that there's just more than what we know and what we've been taught. So
I think your show is going to do that for a lot of people.
More and more barriers will fall.
Yeah,
So-
people need to see us and
Yes.
see people. Oh, I'm like him. Oh yeah, I used to play basketball too, and
He was
I used
saying,
to wear
yes.
the choker. I used to wear the
Yes.
choker. They need to, you know, people need to see that and they
Yes.
can relate to that. So I'm hoping that we'll get an outpouring of support from individuals who were in the closet, who are in the closet, who are saying, "Let me reach out to him." You know, his story is similar to mine. So yeah, you know, most of us came from small. I know I came from a small city, so back then it was, and now it's still taboo to know that you live this lifestyle. But I mean, you know, you have to go on.
Absolutely. And I'm already a fan.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate
I'm
it.
already a fan.
Being a resource, are you guys going to connect with any other organizations? He mentioned.
yes, actually, we connected with AHF, which is AIDS Healthcare.
Tell us more about that.
AIDS Healthcare Foundation, who has graciously has taken on the task of taking it across the country and showing it, showing the documentary in different markets. So, but they're, you know, amazing, and so, but I challenge everyone that, you know, just to get to look in your neighborhoods and look into your city and see what's there. You know, I think that a lot of the young men and young women that are going through these things just need somebody to talk to. So just go and find one of these shelters or find one of these after school programs or youth programs for the LGBTQ community and kind of just walk in there and say, what can I do? You know, and that's the best thing that you can do.
Awesome. That was a pretty good.
We talked before the cameras were rolling, and you're expressing your apprehension of even coming here tonight.
Yeah.
Would you care to touch on that? Because you're saying the feelings like that never really went away with you.
Yeah, you know what? It's a process. And for me, every time I step on a platform where I'm talking about it, I'm nervous. And I guess it's okay to be nervous about it. But every time I talk about it, afterwards, I feel more liberated. So I think I'm getting to a place where I'm comfortable, but I still get nervous talking about it because I still know that ignorant people exist.
Yes.
And they're not going anywhere.
No.
So, but I've come to a realization that, you know, this is who I am. You know, I'm older, forever 26, you know. Something.
Yeah,
You know, 26 plus years old, so I can only live life for me. You know, I can't live life for what he wants me to be or what she wants me to be. So you either accept me or you don't.
I totally get it. And that's across the board,
Yeah.
the general consensus
Yeah.
of your castmates.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a great deep deal of soul searching to come to a truth and to stand by it. And I applaud you, brothers.
And, you know, it makes it easier because I have these other guys too.
Yes.
You know, it's like a big brotherhood, a support network to say, oh yeah, I experienced that too. So when we're all doing it together, it makes it easier
Yes.
than just say you're
Safety
on
in
this,
numbers.
Yeah, just say you're on this solo platform by yourself. It just makes it easier to have them too.
Being black and gay is levels to fixing stuff.
Okay.
And see, what the thing is that what we is at the beginning we're black.
Yes.
See, then there's black is the big title. That's something we can't change,
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
Then when you go from black, it's black man, black woman.
Gotcha.
That's something we need to fix. Then we drop down, it's other brackets. Being black and gay is like the fifth bracket down. So the thing is, until being black gets fixed, then being a black man gets fixed, then being a black man and all the other things go around there. Being black and gay in the white community and the dealing with the white community, that ain't about to. That's not. It's nothing that we can really. It's not saying that's nothing we can. We can speak loud and we can make noise. But the thing is, it's still this one situation because like if we just changed, we were white and gay, then everything would be better. That's because we're white, the top part. So, so the thing is that we gotta. It's as a whole community. So it's not about. It's about being black and gay, black and straight, lesbian, any of those things. It's all about being black first. And so
I like
till
the way
we
you broke that down.
Yeah, so it's like we got to fix that part first. It's
You're
like
right.
everybody, like it's like, oh, we got to help being black men and black women and black this and black that. It's like, yeah, but everything we keep saying is black. So we got to fix the black part first. And so until we fix the black part, everything that trickles underneath the black will be fixed.
What can the viewers expect to see from this upcoming season?
Well, the season ain't done yet, child. But what you can expect to see is that OWN pick it up. That's where I want to be at. Over at OWN. So I'm gonna speak it into existence.
You do that.
But as of right now, like I said, first of all, I love these guys. They're great. They're great.
Awesome.
And I even every time I get to talk to you, well, thank you. I'm like, but every time we get to talk, every time I sit and we talk about it, it just makes me understand why it's so important, because like you said, they say what they mean, they say how they feel, and they don't mind expressing everything, and this makes me so happy. But like I said, we're going to put this one's called The Masculine Man, and like I said, this will be it's all planned to just do a full roll at the top of the year, so it'll be on the GayLikeMeProject.com, where you will be able to see it and be able to watch the full doc of it.
Awesome. Do you have any social media people can reach out to, or
Well, Chai, I ain't hard to find. I'm at Derek J. Hare, or it's the Gay Like Me Project on Instagram. And like I said, it's the Gay Like Me Project on the website. So it's there.
Awesome. I'm on social media. I'm all over social media. So if you want to reach me on Instagram, it's at the Dr. Ron. On Twitter, it's at the Dr. Ron. My website, thedrron.com. There's a contact me page. Just send me a message, and most of the time, I get a lot of inbox messages, but I do get back to those people that send me inbox messages. So if they inbox me, or they can look up my phone number for our office or whatever, call me, and I'll talk to them.
And you are open, to sharing your wisdom and everything.
Yeah.
I'm a fan already. And
that's the purpose of having this platform.
Absolutely.
We gotta use it, and that's the purpose of us sharing our story with the world, is to help somebody else. So we'd be not serving our purpose if we did not want other people to contact us to talk about it.
And actually, you pointed out it helps you to be around that unity.
And the more I talk about it, the easier it gets. A lot of times, like I was saying before, when you hold things in it, you create yourself, you become an emotional prisoner, like you have bars in front of you, you're behind those bars. But the more you talk about it, the more you release, and it makes it easier. I just talked about that on one of my segments this week. I do a segment every Wednesday called 60 Seconds with Dr. Ron on social media, where I talk about a plethora of topics. But I talked about expressing yourself. And once we learn to express ourselves and stop holding things in so much, it gets easier.
I can see it.
So we'll see what happens,
So is Dr. Ron dating or anything? Or?
Dr. Ron is engaged. Yes, I got engaged on July 7th of this year. We are doing great. We're still talking about the date for the wedding. Probably won't be a big thing, but just be he and I.
Congratulations.